Yeah, yeah. You got way too many problems. Ain't no holding me back. Ain't no pulling me down. Ain't no knocking me down. Ain't no taking me down. I'm lightning fast.
As we have one flanking player from the T side. Now they pincered the site from two sides, but one of the other Ts just falls way too fast. Now it's just a 1v1. He rushes sandbags, but he pays for it. Seth Moss catches him out. Just on Blake.
Chip with the Wandeek from Connector. And we are back for the last playoff qualification game between VenomGaming and AbsoluteStuds, which I have not seen AbsoluteStuds this time around. Counter-Terrorists are taking a timeout, so we can talk about the different facts about these teams. VenomGaming had to run through the gauntlet last time as they had to play multiple overtimes back to back to back, and all of the maps almost that they played. I think they got to the best of 3 point, and Nightcry and Dark fought hard to get to this position. And AbsoluteStuds, although I haven't seen them yet, knowing that they picked Inferno means that they're a little bit more, let's just say, normal than the rest of the teams that we've seen so far. Just an hour or two ago, we saw somebody select Lake, even though their name was Lake OP, so it wasn't too strange for them to see it. We didn't even get to see the third map of that best of 3, but I'm sure that it would have been Rialto, knowing the pattern that both of those teams were picking the maps at. And one of the players is briefly disconnected on VenomGaming's side, so we might not even see them back in the time in which they come back, because the T's have no incentive to pause the game in the meantime, which leaves Dark in the dark with 8 seconds left. Although, as we know, when his teammate joins back into the server, he will just automatically spawn in, so maybe we'll have a little bit of a moment where he just spawns in right in the middle of the action. In any case, both these T's rushing down lane side, trying to find Dark in pit. They just see him as he's peeking out at just the wrong time, because they were both looking at him, and the round ends just before the other CT can actually spawn in, so AbsoluteStuds winning the first pistol round. They're nowhere near calling a timeout.
And both of these players on AbsoluteStuds just rushing down lane side. We see that as a rather uncommon strat, as both of these Ts tend to just rush separate points of the map, take out both of the players, but they knew that the CT could only be in one position, and he's on the opposite side again as they're rushing down lane side once again. Volty checking all of his corners, jumping to see if anybody's around the corner, around the boxes. There's nobody there. This last CT hiding behind the other side of the wall. They're planting the bomb default side. Finding him, just might have found his waist, but he ran on the other side of the boiler room just in time, and he's trying to save this deagle, as that's a pretty expensive buy for an anti-eco round or even an eco round. Volty checks it, just peeks with a shoulder and finds him on the re-peek, and the MAC-10 just drills through him, and VenomGaming with 0 rounds once again. Dark still by himself. There we go, Nightcry joining back in the game after they lose the anti-eco round. And although they already called it tactical, it wasn't really in the right round, so there's 2 rounds left, and what the T said they would have called the timeout before, which is something that VenomGaming didn't have the luxury of doing last time. Dark missing the Wandig as the T was full flashed. That might have been his only chance, but he re-peeks and gets full flashed again, but he doesn't peek with the flash either that time. And so Milorad with a profile picture of the Bosnian Serb politician and president of Republika Srpska peeks the pit, and Dark trying to peek the left side, evading both of these AKs, but they're not expecting the boost, as I don't think any of these teams that they've been facing actually set up for this boost. And Milorad holding the corner tight, but they're just not peeking it, and Volty abandoned him, and the boost is no longer active, but Volty gets a first pick onto site. The last one with an M4. He's holding behind the box, and we get the trade from both of the Ts as a one-peaked balcony, and Milorad ran in to get that territory and get that bomb plant. And Nightcry and Dark, again, $3,000 and $4,000. It's going to be another disjointed buy, and as we know before, those just disjointed buys don't work out too well. Oh no, they closed down some of their buying opportunities. MP9 and the FAMAS light guns against both of these nasty AKs. One of them tried to rush the left side, and he got taken out instantly by the AK, so Dark is the last one left alive with the FAMAS. He might try to flank around the right side. Volty holding it, making sure that the flank is covered. That AK going to be aiming in just the right place at just the right time. AbsoluteStuds winning 4 rounds in a row against VenomGaming. There's no response coming from them. And with a rather low economy, once again, and no kills on the CT side. Even though we can't really punish them too hard for that. Volty once again, rushing, taking an early position, expecting Dark to peek the right side. Once again, he's aiming at the ground, making sure they can't even see his heads or even aim at them. And doesn't look like they're rushing the smoke anytime soon. That might have even been the same position. Volty taking an early peek once again. He's just deadly with those, waiting for the CTs to rush the early position. And Dark now clearing over from Arch side. He has to retake the site with 2 fully armored and rifled opponents, and Volty's going to snipe him from across the map. 5-0 against VenomGaming. It's a little bit of a drill here. Both of them have maximum money, and they're still with no kills on either of their players. And they have a lot of team money on their side, but they have no kills to back it up once again, even no assists. Although that goes without getting any kills, because you need one to get the other, chicken and the egg. And Milorad trying to find a pick on Arch side, and the op finding his first kill on the CT side. The quick crouch peek op shot, and he's lucky that he hit that, because they did reduce the movement after you shoot for the op. And Volty trying to find a pick, the nice head glitching spot from Nightcry. Now both of them know where he's coming from, and Dark with a double kill, getting VenomGaming back into this match. Getting that first round on the CT side, and AbsoluteStuds a little bit more difficult, but they're still buying an SG. They're still fully armored up, and they might even throw smokes this time around, setting up on the site. This is what we like to see, the solidifying defense from both of the CTs as they're starting to catch up to the game plan of AbsoluteStuds, although I don't think it's going to be early enough. Nightcry retreating back into pit. He doesn't find anybody early rushing. Once again, the split position. Both of the Ts are rather docile this time around as they threw down smokes. The CTs did to slow down the rush. Another smoke coming from the CT, so doubling up on apartments, but Milorad isn't phased by that. He's pushing up Arch side once again. The op peeking in and out, which he might pay for that in a couple seconds. Misses the shot, but both of them miss the shot. Now he has to pull off, and Volty now engaging with the pit player, throwing all of these flashes. Nightcry doesn't get hit by it at all, and he doesn't know it. The flash might as well have dissipated by this time. Nightcry still head glitching over that corner, and Milorad just missing him. They're not engaging each other at all. Can't see through the smoke, but the Molotov sure can. Volty finds his head first, although the other player could definitely see it from his angle. And Dark now being cornered from both sides, both up and down. Now he has to retreat back to the other side of Archway, and Volty hard aiming. He doesn't want to get flanked, but he looks at the wrong location. Now Milorad plants over to the hard right side, pop flashing, making sure that Dark can't rush it. Over that head glitch box, he actually goes on top of it, which is not going to be an expected play from him. Dark, crouch peeking around the corner, just gets him! Flicks up on top of him, and VenomGaming winning that second round against AbsoluteStuds. It's starting to collapse on their side, but they can only lose one more round, which isn't very detrimental. Dark with another ace, and if I am correct, yes, his teammate has not gotten any kills yet so far, not even an assist, but he is holding these positions where the Ts actually are slowed down, so the op can do its work after the bomb is planted. Some good site retakes from Dark, and Nightcry looks like he's setting up for another apartments play. It's his favorite side of the map. He either plays pit or apartments, and then early pick from the op. 2 picks from the op. Dark with all the kills on VenomGaming side. He has 6 kills and 5 deaths. We're going to be going after this half. VenomGaming with a slow comeback.
Sunshine every day, pick up every day.
And the wrath of this tournament just keeps on going. AbsoluteStuds with a 2-round lead against VenomGaming at the halftime. And they both buy armor on both sides. No controversial buys for either of these players. Milorad with only 1 kill, and Volty. 1 kill, sorry. And Volty and Dark on the other team have most or all of the kills for their respective teams, and Nightcry looking to expand his kills, jumping out Library in aggressive play, yet none of the CTs are actually looking at them. So VenomGaming, again, at a positional disadvantage. Neither of these CTs are actually in the places that they want to be going into. As none of them were in Library, none of them were on Archway, and they completely gave up the site. Dark pre-firing a position where none of them are coming from, yet they're expecting somebody to come from it, and Nightcry finding the head over the box, but he just can't get it, just can't tap it. Gush in pit, and Milorad, oh, dirty crossfire from both of these CTs, suppressing them to the point where they couldn't even get onto the bomb site. And AbsoluteStuds winning the 6th round and the pistol round, seizing the economy, being able to buy whatever the hell they want this time around. $2,400, which allows them to buy either an SMG, yep, UMP and a FAMAS from both of the CTs, and we just have pistols from both of the Ts, but it's ever so deadly with that P250 and the 5.7, or rather CZ, pre-firing with the P250, but it's not going to work out. Both of those pistols dying to the UMP spray. They're just 1 round away from the match point, which is going to be destructive for VenomGaming's economy, but they still do have a lot of money, and they can buy AKs and whatever utility and armor that they wish. They can even set up something if they so desire, and Nightcry trying to pre-fire Archway, making sure that none of the CTs actually rush them, as they were so favorite of rushing. Nightcry still aiming at the corner, Dark still aiming at the other corner, trying to find a crossfire of some sort, but neither of the CTs are even close to rushing. Milorad a little bit tempted by it there, but retreating back to where he came from, and now both of them are just closed out at the same position. They have no intel as to where either of these Ts are actually going to be attacking from. They can just run down the clock as much as they want, get both of these CTs nervous. They've moved out of their default positions and are now just walking around the site, but one T decides to go towards Archway. Nightcry pre-firing all the corners that he wants to, but he gets full flash and Milorad rounding the corner with the UMP, but he gets sprayed down, only gets him down to half of his HP, and both of them are rushing down Archway. Volty stuck in the pit with his FAMAS, throwing out a smoke, blocking visual, but the smoke goes into space instead of anywhere that he wanted it to, and Nightcry pre-firing pit, and he gets him. Volty, quick headshot in the pit. Now VenomGaming with 4 rounds, but AbsoluteStuds still with a steep lead against VenomGaming. It's going to be a long climb, but it looks like they have the momentum so far to get it, and if they win this round, they can shut down AbsoluteStuds for another 2 rounds afterwards, except for the new loss bonus. Might be shaking a little bit too many things up. Volty picking up the upside of pit, and Milorad has to fall back out of Archways. They smoke and flash him off. A very safe position to be holding after you're sucked out of the Archway, but once again, the CTs do not try to retake Archway. Every single time that they lose it, they just give it up and wait for the Ts to come to their location. It didn't work last round, but after this, they know exactly what strat they're going to be using, because it worked last time. The smoke coming in close sight, but it's going to smoke them off more than the CTs, and now they might have to wait it out. 50 seconds left. That smoke's going to be dissipating at 30. Trying to pre-fire through the smokes. Finding any contact is going to be really difficult when you're blind. Molotov goes on the right side of pit, but little do they know, Volty's on the other side, but he rushes through. Stewie 2K strats, misses all the shots. Now it's just a 1v2. Dark left in a spray down competition. Gets the first one. Milorad down. Last one in pit. Volty finding his aim dual location, swings over to the left. And AbsoluteStuds with the match point against VenomGaming. Resorted down to just aim dueling the CTs isn't going to be good enough. They had the smokes, they had the flashes, but they threw them in the wrong locations. Now they're going to have to regroup and find some other strat to look for. And they're going for the Archway strat. It worked last time and the 2 other ones before it, and they're going to be trying it again. Every single time that they take Archway, however, it's a little bit hard to capitalize off of their taking of Archway, and Nightcry not even throwing smokes or flashes from his location. But both of the CTs don't have scoped weapons, so even if they find them on that side of the map, it's going to be difficult to hit them. But say that to the AK that just hit Nightcry for 20 of his HP. Milorad chucking a nade over, or a flash. Beacon on the left side of the Archway, just rushing up close, but he's going to pay for it. Both of these CTs shredding through the Ts. The expert crossfire through the smoke, or rather the left side of the smoke. And AbsoluteStuds winning this half, or rather this map. We will see you after the next map is engaged. An attempted comeback from one of the teams. We'll see if they can do it again. With those long-range guns, they might be a fan of that. Whoa! That was a good headshot, Nathaniel, just catching him. Oh. He might go for this ninja defuse. Oh, he has the flash. But the T's aren't peeking into the flash, so they can just spray right through. That's a 10-second defuse. He throws that second flash. He almost has no chance. These AKs are just missing him. He's gonna get the ninja defuse.
Watch this.
And we are back for the second map. AbsoluteStuds pulling it through on the first map, which was Inferno, for those that don't know. And now we are on pretty much the same map with a little bit more verticality. Overpass, which was not selected for the last best of three, as one of the teams wanted to spite the other one. Like OP wanted to spite the other team, and the T's not even going to the side in which they're boosting for, and VenomGaming caught by surprise. Now the bomb site is completely open. They're trying for another boost, trying to look over the ledge, and they get one, but the other one's planting behind the box. Emilorad left in a 1v2, sniping them with a Glock, and Dark getting taken out. Now it's just down to a 1v1. Nightcry trying to find a visual on the box, but Emilorad taking out both with the Glock, peeking out on either side. And he has the USP as well. Insult to injury, getting both of the kills and the bomb plant, dominating the pistol round. It's not looking good for Nightcry and Dark, as they just have to pull out the desperation buy once again. And those boosts did not work out very well for either of them, no matter where they boosted. The first boost was significantly worse than the last one. One of his teammates dinked him as soon as he was shooting at the CT, and now down to a 1v1, but the last one only has a deagle, and this AK could just shred through him as he has no armor. Dark trying to find the headshot, but he just can't get it. Defeated the anti-eco by a sliver. Milorad once again clutching the round. They didn't even try for a boost that time. As I was saying, the second boost with the CTs actually worked once the bomb was being planted, so they might try that once again, as it seems like VenomGaming, once they find something that works against AbsoluteStuds, they seem to want to try it again and again to see if they can just dominate them and get as many rounds as they can. Negev, the big balls by coming out of Dark, wants to spray them down while they're getting through the tunnel. Nightcry may even be a bait for them. Looking up, checking for a boost, looking for their own strats, but it doesn't seem like either of them on the T side want to do that. Nightcry with an early pick now. It's Volty's turn to do a 1v2, and it's not looking good. As the combination with that Negev and the 5.7 could be a little bit of a bait prey. 5.7 could be used as a bait for that Negev to just spray him down, but he's checking all these angles, and I think he's going to get that headshot once Dark actually repeats. Misses the headshot, sprays way too many bullets. Now the flash is coming in. Volty's stuck behind these sandbags. Now they're closing in on his position. Dark, if he finds visual, he can just spray him down, but he doesn't peek while he wants to, or while he should, rather. Now both these CTs peeking. Once again, the Negev's just pressing him down, but he's not shooting at him. It's just a game of hide-and-go-seek here. Headshot coming against the Negev. Now the last one. Nightcry heading to the right side of the pillar. Full flash, down to 7 HP from the AK spray. He's just playing into them, letting him peek. letting them peek him, but he misses all the shots from the AK spray, and VenomGaming winning that third round. The AK almost shredded through both of them, but as long as they just kept peeking him and draining his ammunition, no matter how many times he hit them, that 5-7 was ultimately successful, and what should have been an easy round against 2 force spies, and a Gevin at Deagle ended up coming disastrously close. And the UMP and the AK now having to rush the bottom side. We have 2 guns focusing in on them, and Dark has the AK to actually back up what he's shooting at. Milorad out in the open between a Molotov, a hard place, and an M4. That M4 wants to kill him as soon as he can. Flash down in the water, but the UMP gets him first. Now Dark is just in the 1v2 once again. Seems like it's just a game of 1v2s. Dark needing to show his supremacy against 2 low HP opponents. Milorad holding the bottom tunnel, making sure that Dark doesn't want to rush it. He just looks like he wants to make contact, going on top of the bomb box. Might not see him coming from construction. We'll see. Volty is coming. We have another joint attack here. Volty focusing on the double. Milorad in the 1v1. Volty was too over-aggressive in the construction, peeking at the wrong time, and Dark missing the first shots, but he finally focuses in on Milorad, and VenomGaming winning the second round. It's back and forth. They've got the economy to back it up as well, and the T's are low on their economy. That AK that they picked up from Volty in the last round actually is just giving them benefit after benefit. They're able to shred through people. Milorad with the P250 and the Deagle combination. Looks like they're going to be playing lenient once again. The CCTs are getting more aggressive every single round that they win. Before they were trying to go for the boost, they were trying to go for indirect confrontation. Now they're just up close and personal with AbsoluteStuds, coming face to face with them in construction and tunnel. And Milorad looks like he's rushing tunnel with a flash behind him. The M4 aiming in the wrong position, and he takes him out while he's full blind. He might be able to pick up that M4 while he's distracted. Volty with the 1-deek, and AbsoluteStuds with 3 rounds against VenomGaming's 2. Both of them take them out in their eco round with almost nothing for a buy. The full flash and the Deagle being the heroes of that round, not to mention the people that are behind those shots. Nightcry and Dark left in their own eco round, except they're buying double P250s. Everybody's buying a P250 nowadays because they've been proven right. They've been proven to work. They hear him jump on the molly, but they don't know that he rushed, and yet Volty gets taken down by the P250. Man, it's just shredding through people nowadays. He tries to walk over it to get it, but he starts to just press an E on it. Milorad, once again, where have you seen this before? And another 1v2. Flashes over, making sure that none of these CTs can actually peek him. He's going down near the construction tunnel. He's trying to find some utility off of his teammate, or trying to find angles at the same time, but none of these CTs are pushed up all the way because they've got the guns that they want. They got the positioning that they want as well. Nightcry at the barrels, and Dark just below the site. He has contact with none of them. Now he has contact with both of them, hitting the shoulder of Dark for 24 of his HP. Now it's a little bit more favorable for him, but he still has no visual on either of these people. Looking for a flash, but he doesn't find a position where he can actually find one. Dark's moved all the way across to the other side of the site, but he's going to have to shoot fast or take out Milorad, and he can't. Now it's just 1v1 Nightcry on the other side of the bomb site, and he takes him out with a P250 as the M4 was too low HP. VenomGaming with 3 rounds against AbsoluteStuds 3. It's another tie game. We got 1v1s, 1v2s, never an equal engagement all at the same time. It seems like they peel off of each other every single time that they get a kill. And Dark with the op, but he's not going heaven. He's going to be playing more aggressive because VenomGaming likes to be up close and personal with their guns. But he's held back all the way over into A main where he can retreat easily. And Volty, once again, aggressive play, standing in the fire, just smoking out while he's standing in it. The SG spray knocks Nightcry down to 28% of his HP, and he falls back to the other side of the site. Holding it from the water, he sees Volty and Milorad, or at least hears them for that matter, as it's smoke in his hands. Light toss onto the site so they can't see him, pushing up all the way next to barrels. He sees the flashes being thrown out, but he can't see any of them actually pushing out onto the site because they don't want to push past that smoke. I have a feeling somebody might be on the other side of it. Dark down to 1% of his HP, and Nightcry down to only 28, so both of these Ts just need to make contact, and it's going to be enough, and Dark can't get any contact between any of these Ts whatsoever. Nightcry is still hiding on the other side of the site.
The T's still have utility to clear out some of these positions. He peeks the op too aggressively, and Nightcry and Volty. Volty is, again, in a 1v2 situation, but he's trying to fake plant the bomb, baiting out someone to actually rush him, and he does rush him from the other side. Nightcry, only with 28% of his HP, takes out the last remaining T trying to plant the bomb. And AbsoluteStuds with 3 rounds against VenomGaming's 4, and they've started to edge them out a little bit more. Both of these CTs have scoped weapons and either even or positive kill-to-death ratios. Emilorad rushing with his teammate. They have low-quality guns, but for the most part, they're able to pull out something with the guns that they've been using recently. The Deagle and the UMP. Nightcry setting up for a nade on any contact or any sound that he gets, and he throws it a little bit too early as he got the sound cue from his teammate that one of them was rotating. Emilorad was trying to go down to the tunnels here. He's aiming through the smoke, trying to see if any of them are actually aggressively pushed up. The flash is coming through. They're both rushing. The op only hits his leg through the floor. Now Volty's the last one left in another 1v2, except hopefully it goes a little bit better than it did for last time for him. If he gets this, he's able to equalize the rounds, but he reveals his location instantly with that Deagle shot. Nightcry cluing in, peeking with the SG, but he misses the headshot tap. He has to face 2 of these positions, scoped weapons. And he's not peeking construction at all. Sees the op in heaven, and he takes him over half of his HP, pushing up with the Deagle, aiming down, gets the tap. Can he get dark? Hits him for 18% of his HP, but he can't get to the bomb. Got a shot with the Deagle there, but he jumps away. They're trading shots. Can the Deagle get him? The op's just crouching away, only has 7 seconds to plant the bomb. Is he going to get him? Yes, he gets a bomb plant just in time. Now Dark is left in another 1v1 situation, except it's a post-plant retake. That Deagle's peeking down, he gets him through the box. And VenomGaming just winning that 5th round against AbsoluteStuds. He could have gotten them with that Deagle, but he didn't peek at the right time. With a quick defuse, we're going to be going quick into the second half of this second map. VenomGaming with a slight lead, just like AbsoluteStuds had on Inferno. We will see you after the short break.
Sunshine every day. Pick up every day.
VenomGaming's probably feeling a little bit more comfortable than they did last game with the 2-round lead against AbsoluteStuds, Emilorad and Volty. And both sides of the T side, CT side conundrum here. He'll be going for safe armor buys. We got one decoy coming from the T's, which they can use as a fake flash. Yeah, there's the fake flash coming in. Volty ducking out of the way, but it's not going to affect him at all. And the USP's not connecting any other shots. T's getting the first engagement. This last CT holding the fort. He gets one of them rushing up the ramp. Now it's just the last one. Dark in the water, gets him with the headshot. AbsoluteStuds winning the pistol round once again, getting the economic advantage once again. Now the T's have a little bit of a choice to make. They can either buy the shotguns or the SMGs, and AbsoluteStuds with their 4-round buys, UMP. We're going for double SMG setup in the P250, ever so deadly. But that CZ75 has been underutilized so far in this Wingman tournament in general, as most people don't know how to control the spray. Once they actually start shooting, they sort of just rely on it going back and forth and hopefully landing on somebody's head. And most of the pistols have a secret spray pattern that nobody actually learns, because most of them are just semi-automatic anyways. Milorad might be able to catch out this boost as he rounds the corner. He hears one of them jumping, but he doesn't know if he needs to rush or not. They fake flash. He's not peeking all the way. Dark, not seeing anybody, although he might see one Toxic, missing most of the shots, but he kills Volty on the boost. Milorad retreating, not knowing where any of the bullets were coming from, rushing down construction, trying to find the boost, but they already ran away. That was a very effective eco boost. I think that's what they were trying to go for previously. They're splitting the rush, killing Milorad from both sides. And VenomGaming winning the 6th round, an expert boost from them, catching out the person in Toxic. And with that UMP pistol combination that they got going after they killed one of them, or rather just the double pistol combination, they're lucky that they got that kill over the boost, because then both of the CTs were just left clueless. None of the fake decoys could save them from that. If only Milorad had rushed, would he have found them out? And the Deagle, coming from Toxic Barrels, takes the first one out while he was rushing, but he's down to 20% of his HP, and now Dark has to rush him with the Galil, and they're entrenched, but the Molotov's going to do some damage, forcing him out of his position. He just walks right over the barrels, and his teammate takes advantage of it, rushing as he finds a weakness, and AbsoluteStuds with a 5th round against VenomGaming. They have the economy to back it up as well, $44,500. I wish it was $45,000, because then he can buy every single round up until the round or the entire game ends. He buys a gun for his teammate, and he has a gun of his own, double deagle set up, and they might go for a boost. Again, hopefully the CTs have learned from their previous plays. Volty still going barrels, not changing up his plan at all, and Milorad taking a more defensive position. Oh no, he's pushed up as well, both of these CTs, trying to prevent the Ts from actually boosting up in the first place, hopefully. Although looks like they're splitting up their attempts here. Milorad rushing down. They heard him rushing, so they're pulling back, and now he's just going to be coming from the tunnels, aiming a little bit too high and getting hit from the aim punch. Can't get that Wandig that he was hoping for. Now the flash coming from Milorad, the Deagle not connecting both of its shots, and now he can retreat back to construction, but he's not finished yet. He wants to get some. Wants to get some of this dark action, but he's not going to be able to get it. And Volty, the last one remaining that can possibly contend with this Deagle. Volty overextending, or Milorad overextending rather, and now Volty's left in a 1v1 with Dark, but he has the advantage. He has the UMP available if Dark decides to rush. The Wandy not coming yet. Can Volty just edge him out here? The Deagle not aiming close enough to the head, and AbsoluteStuds winning the 6th round back-to-back against VenomGaming. They're slowly coming back from their lead. And some instant buys. They know exactly what they're doing on the T side, hopefully, and they got some utility set up, hopefully, for VenomGaming. Because they have the boosts, but the real question is, do they have the smokes to actually back up any of their attacks? They have a quick smoke to block out the vision from barrels, which will affect Volty's view, but not for long, as he just jumps over the barrels at this famous strat that the T's actually couldn't catch up on. Both holding aggressive, but they're both playing in the exact same positions as they usually do. Nightcry doesn't even know where these shots are coming from. Now it's just down to a 1v2, and Dark gets both of them and wins the 7th round for VenomGaming. That AK doing a lot better than the Galils that they had to buy previously, but his teammate isn't so lucky this time around, but he buys him. Nevertheless, draining all of his. This is the teamwork that we like to see, and both sides have the exact same gun. Milorad and Volty having a UMP along with full armor, and one even has a defuse kit, however unlikely a bomb plant will be. Molly's far, not hitting any of the CTs, and they're both pushed up close tunnels, which it's a nasty collat spot, but they realize that none of these Ts are actually coming through the tunnels, so they might want to reposition the AK, trying to go for the headshot peek, but Volty peels away and throws a nade just in case. He's boosted up on top of the fence, spraying through it, thinking that one of them was actually going to rush through, but no way in hell he was going to try to do that, and Volty takes advantage of this boost spot, but I don't know if he's actually going to find anything. As long as the T doesn't jump, which I don't think Nightcry is a fan of doing. He might have seen his head there, but he didn't react. Volty hard peeking this angle. He's really dedicating on it. Smokes out, looking straight at it. Might have even been a flash, which would have been a risky play. The Molotov almost hitting his head, but Volty still waiting for a boost that is never going to come, and Nightcry peeking out construction. Volty sees him running out and gets the kill. Now AbsoluteStuds with their response, the counter-attack. And now both teams are one round away from match point. A guaranteed tie, no matter how you see it for both sides, except AbsoluteStuds tie would be one round away from actually winning this best of 3, and VenomGaming would just be trying to clutch, holding on for life, and both of them have a deagle for this round, this momentous round. Molotov going down to the lower tunnel, which only opens them up for a construction rush. And Volty's ready for it as well as Milorad. They're doubling up here. Not even taking the chance that either of them will go down below. They're not even trying to boost on the T side, as both of the CTs have predicted that they might try that, but it looks like they're setting up for it. Nightcry going to be the bottom one, and Dark going to be the top one, but he's trying to encourage his teammate, but he's not coming yet, because they're not too sure that one of these CTs isn't waiting for it. Milorad aggressively pushing, knowing that the boost is going to be coming, and Nightcry, the one waiting for the boost, he's going to be dying to the AK instead. AbsoluteStuds with the 8th round against VenomGaming. They're one round away from winning this best of 3, but we might see an overtime. I'm not too sure. We'll see. Tried to go for the boost, but the CTs have wisened up to that one. Once they die to it once, they're paranoid about it the rest of the game. Both of the CTs have equal kills, 11 apiece. Old Dark is dominating his scoreboard with 12. His teammate has half. And they tried to rush the lower region, but once again it's smoked off. I don't know if it's them that smoked it off that time to try to extinguish a fire, but nevertheless, both of them. Volty trying to hide in the corner of the lower canal. The first T to rush out with the Galil gets the opening kill. Now it's a difficult 1v2 for Milorad. He has to scout out both of these Ts rushing out. The AK spray just not good enough to close it out. Now we're going to be going to the first overtime of this match. We'll see after the short break. VenomGaming just clutching on to life.
And we're back for this first overtime. VenomGaming and AbsoluteStuds locked in, but AbsoluteStuds with the slight best of 3 advantage. All they have to do is win 3 rounds of this overtime, and they just go through to this. And Milorad and Volty with a standard M4 buy. They didn't even try to get an op because, once again, they hold really up close compared to most sides. And most teams, Volty getting knocked down by 25% of his HP. Both of these Ts rushing down below in the water. Nightcry getting the opening pick, but Milorad with the response, and now it's just Dark in a 1v1 once again. But he's thrown out flashes into the site, preventing him from moving too fast, and Dark is dazed. Doesn't know where any of these flashes are coming from. He doesn't know where this last CT is coming from, and Milorad peeking around the box. He just finds the shots. He doesn't find the head, though. And the spray just missed, but he's trying his best, throwing the nade on the other side, but it goes a little bit too high, and Milorad misses it completely. They're just running around each other counterclockwise, but VenomGaming edging out there as Dark clutches out against Milorad, and although both of them are equal, Dark is superior, and VenomGaming getting that 9th round against AbsoluteStuds, but they only get to play 1 more round on this side, and AbsoluteStuds going to be paying for it on their side, because if I am correct, their strats will not work out as well as they want them to, as VenomGaming usually plays lenient on the CT side, trying to go for more indirect contact, and Oh, AbsoluteStuds trying to boost of their own, seeing if VenomGaming is going to bite, and they just bite by spraying at them, which heavily discourages the CTs. Milorad might peek this and die from the op. Dark misses his shot. Now they know there's an op down there. Now they're going to be playing even closer because they know that that op cannot rush close, and he looks at the molly, doesn't see that it's going to be killing them anytime soon, and Dark is forced to rush that position up close with the op, but his teammates rushing construction beforehand. Volty hopping on top of the barrels, that's his favorite strat, and they molly it off, making sure that he can't retreat anywhere near to where they can kill him, but he's still on the left side of sight. The AK finds his body, but he doesn't find it enough, and Dark is the last one left remaining, takes out the first CT. Milorad, now it's just a 1v1. Volty on the other side of sight in the water, finding a sneaky angle against the op. If he decides to rush in, picks up the AK. The M4 doesn't fire when he gets the chance, and Dark isn't going to reappear there. He's stuck on sight, walking over to the left, and he takes him out with the AK, edging out AbsoluteStuds, and we're 6 seconds away from the other side. And VenomGaming, all they have to do is win this last round of the half.
VenomGaming with 10 rounds. All they have to do is win this one round to seize the second map of the best 2 out of 3. The molly coming in construction, but the reverse molly coming in on site. Now Milorad and Volty have to deal with a slower approach to the site, which is going to be deadly because VenomGaming isn't pushed up close. They have to find their engagements. Dark holding the angle. Holding the lower angle, rather, down in the water, and Milorad and Volty now trying to scope out their locations here, and the SG is going to be deadly. If they find their heads against those barrels, they can just spray on top of them and take them out so fast they won't even be able to react. They're throwing nades out on the site, distracting the CTs, so they don't know exactly when they're coming, but they know exactly where they're coming. Milorad clearing the close right angle, but the op from a distance taking him out. Now Volty's just left in a difficult 1v2 against a long-range weapon. A rather enclosed M4 against the barrels, and he has no utility to get any of them out. Dark, hard holding that angle. He only has 23 seconds left to actually take this bomb. The SG hitting him for 60% of his HP, but he ducks in the meantime, and he's still stuck. He has to bait out one of the shots. He's run out of time. 13 seconds left. He runs right into the op, and VenomGaming winning the second map of the best 2 out of 3. Those long-range guns, they might be a fan of that. Whoa! That was a good headshot, Nathaniel, just catching him. Oh. He might go for this ninja defuse. Oh, he has the flash. But the T's aren't peeking into the flash, so they can just spray right through. That's a 10-second defuse. He throws that second flash. He almost has no chance. These AKs are just missing him. He's gonna get the ninja defuse.
The final map to decide it all. VenomGaming took back the second map of Overpass and avenging themselves from the first map that AbsoluteStuds won, but we see some back and forth Counter-Strike action. They made it to the first overtime, which I wasn't even expecting after the first map. Neither of the CTs are nading or smoking out any of the doors because they got the full armor to contend against both of these Glocks, and they're trading out each other, but last T, Milorad has way too little HP to contend against his USB if he can find his legs, and he does, taking the quick post-plant and the 10-second defuse, and both sides buying rather normal buys for both of their sides, buying the armor every single time. 650 with a decoy optionally, although neither of these teams have actually fallen for the decoy strat. And both of the CTs actually taking the scaffolding and just abusing it, as when they ran out onto the site, they were just able to run on both sides of it and take the vertical on both of the Ts, which is the most difficult part of playing on T side. You have to both worry about who's on the ground and who's around the silo, but also maybe who's on top of the silo, or even who's on top of the scaffolding. But the Deagle finding a first scaffolding player, nullifying all of my problems with it. And Dark now having to focus on two Ts coming from possibly two different locations. He sees the smoke coming out from window, but he's still dedicating on the lower player, as he's not too convinced that somebody's coming from the window. And he thinks that he could just flick over to it. Milorad, oh, he ran out, but he just missed both of his legs, and he almost hits both of them at the same time, but Volty still would have caught him out with the SG, as there's no aim punch on that man. He has full armor and an SG waiting, or lying in wait. I believe that was his teammate that bought him that. On the last round, Nightcry and Dark resorting to a P250. And Dark still, with all of the kills on his side, Nightcry still can't seem to get any of these kills early on into the game, but he eventually catches up later on. Dark and Nightcry dedicating themselves to killing Volty, and they still can't both get him. AbsoluteStuds winning 2 rounds in a row. They still have enough money to buy, and we see on Nuke you can't really set up any of those smokes that you want to. There's no aerial position on the underground to actually throw any of the smokes. So all you can do is really stand in an open doorway or the window and throw your smokes from there, which exposes you to all of the CTs that might want to kill you in the first place. And Volty taking all of the shots in the single doors, but untouched Milorad over here trying to find engagement, not being able to see it because they smoked off the upper window position. Dark holding from a strong upper, or rather lower ramp position, holding down the single doors, but they aren't expecting Milorad, and he's able to push up all the way through window. They just aren't holding it at all. They force one of the CTs to push out, and now it's just a 1v2, and some of these CTs are getting overly aggressive. Dark looks like he's about to just run out the top of ramp, which would have been really bad for him. But Milorad, if he breaks out that glass, he reveals his location. So either he uses it as bait, or he gets the hell out of there. It looks like he's going down double doors, reveals his location there. He has a feeling one of them might be on scaffolding, but Nightcry holding a tight position. They're holding a crossfire here. One at the top of ramp and one right over to his left, flashing out onto the site. And Nightcry getting taken out instantly. And now Dark couldn't take advantage of the crossfire, although Milorad only has 1 HP. He could kill him with a flashbang if he wanted to. Planting on site, not even a fake, and Dark has to deal with it. He's retreating up ramp as he thought he didn't have enough time. Now Dark has to retake the site with the scout. Let's see if he wall bangs that box. Is he going to do it? Throws the flash out. Let's hope he doesn't die from it. Throws both of the flashes onto the site. Full flashes Milorad, but he's still hiding behind that box. He's peeking out the other side of it. He hears the footsteps. He could kill him with the 5-7. Doesn't shoot through the box. Tries to pre-fire, and he just edges him out there. Both of them could have killed each other with one shot, but Dark just winning it.
VenomGaming winning the second round on their side against AbsoluteStuds. But a valiant bomb site taken. They still have enough money due to the bomb plant to buy, again, whatever the hell they want. They got an SG and an AK, and they held that bomb site for a long time, which is pretty alarming for VenomGaming, as if it wasn't a 1v2, I don't think, or if it isn't a 1v1, I don't think they would have had much of a choice there, or much of a chance. Milorad still at double doors, not nading it out, not smoking it out, but he's decided to rush through it with the AK, but he certainly reconsiders his decision, but he gets taken out by Dark at the ramp side with the AK. Volty, the last one remaining, peeking down the double doors with the SG. He's trying to find the location of that bomb, smoking it off, but Dark Deciding whether or not to flank, he decides to go on top of the scaffolding, which is an expected location for him, but Volty still not deciding whether or not to get that bomb. And if he waits a little bit more, Dark will get into his vision, but he's reconsidering altogether, going down window side. Looking down ramp, he doesn't know where he is. Dark might get a little bit of an auditory clue as to where he is. Peeking out the right side of Silo, just enough to where they can't see each other. They still don't see each other. They're both still oblivious. They're trying to flank around, but Volty gets the first visual with the SG, but he's not using the scope at all, and he's almost out of ammo. 3 bullets left, trying to retreat to reload, and the CT catches him out while he's trying to reload on top of the ramp. Aim dueling it out. He's not using the scope still, I do not think. Well, he's periodically using it, making sure that the CT can't take advantage of it. 7 seconds left. He's going to have to rush him now. He's hiding on the other side of the silo, hides behind the life vest, and gets the kill. VenomGaming with the 3rd round, and a good aim duel there, but the AK rules superior over that SG as he closed up in the distance. In that close range engagement, if you don't know the spray pattern for that SG, it's just not going to kill him. And now the T's have to resort to a UMP and an AK on the T side, and the AK drills through him as he tries to peek, and now the worst UMP gets traded for the AK, and now it's time for Milorad to rush out onto the bomb side, but he gets hit for 6% of his HP by Nightcry, and finished off by the double doors, and nobody's doing anything with that double doors, not nading it, not smoking it, not molotoving it. Well, at the very least smoking it some of the rounds, but it's not going to be enough if either side wants to take advantage of it, as if you smoke it off or molly it or even nade it, you can hold it close. Make sure that nobody goes through it in the first place, and Nightcry smoking off window, making sure that nobody peeks that. Both sides are getting smoked here, and they're molotoving off single doors, but it's a little bit early as both of these T's now are taking up positions, waiting for the smokes to dissipate, which leaves both of the CTs wondering where are they going to be attacking from. Looks like they're just going to be going for picks, waiting for somebody to get impatient. Looks like Nightcry is not going to be the first one. He's behind the lower box. Dark getting the first kill against Volty as he peeked out single doors. And Milorad, again, he's been in this window before, but he doesn't know where either of these people are going to play, because they play in a different position every single time. Dark hiding himself from window, and Nightcry hiding himself from the window. But his gun just might edge out here. He smashes out both of the windows, trying to bait out one of the CTs. He does, but the other one is lying in wait, and he doesn't know where he's lying exactly. That AK needs to be picture-perfect accurate to try to kill one of these players. He hears one of them secret, but he can't kill him. One of them retreats back to the box. Now he only has 20 seconds. The CTs are just experts at running down this clock, forcing him to take an advantage. He gets a headshot on one of the hiding CTs. 12 seconds left. He's going to have to push the location, and Dark wide peeks him below the box. And VenomGaming with 5 rounds. They run out that clock, and they make AbsoluteStuds just run around the site trying to kill hunt every single last one of them. And it's working out for them. AbsoluteStuds trailing by 3 and quite possibly 4 if they lose this eco round. But Volty not one to underestimate his deagle plays. And Milorad peeking out the upper glass here with the UMP, and he can just see through a corner of it, but neither of the CTs are actually going to be peeking through that, so there's little point to it all. And Volty once again dying at the single doors, and Nightcry now left with his teammate to peek the other sides of the map. Milorad trying to rotate out of the upper window, but there's no chance of it. And VenomGaming taking the early lead in the first half of this nuke game. Once again, AbsoluteStuds gonna have to pull out somewhat of a miracle to bring this one back.
Sunshine every day. Pick up any day.
And although this might be an Ontario tournament, VenomGaming still has the ping advantage, as both of their players have both 13 and 8 ping, which is by far the best I've seen, as they aren't lagging in any case, shape, or form. And the classic double armor, one decoy buy from the T's to try to distract both of the AbsoluteStuds players. They did it as a fake flash on overpass, but it didn't work out, and they don't even need it. They're rushing out onto the site. Quick trade from both of the players. Now Milorad has to retake the site once again, but he sees the edge of his foot. This last T doesn't even know it. He has to engage with the Deagle, but he's knocking him down for a lot of his HP. 45 HP on Milorad, and Dark getting the edge on him, shooting him with the USP, more in the legs. But Dark gets more of his legs, and VenomGaming with the 7th round, and if they win this, it's match point, and that's deadly for AbsoluteStuds. As Milorad is $2,100, and Volty is just buying everything that he can. Deagle, utility, anything to shut down an attack from both of these players. They might even try to hide in the smoke. It's rather desperate times. One's in scaffolding, and the other one's also presumably in scaffolding. But Nightcry's with the Shredder, as it's called, the MAC-10. Deadly against players, but the Galil's acting even more deadly, getting a quick dink through the glass. And Volty now rushing through the window with the Deagle. He has an expert flank here. They're not going to be expecting him to come from this position. The smoke, though, is going to be screwing up his rush, but he might be able to just walk through the smoke in the first place. He's pulling off, though, making sure that neither of these T's actually can see him rushing through it. Nightcry, none the wiser, but he doesn't even get shot at by Volty, and Volty now has to pick his targets. He isolates Dark with the Galil next to the box, and he's smoking off the bomb. He's going for a full defuse, or he's going to fake it, baiting out one of these players to shoot him with the MAC-10, but he catches visual, jumps over the Deagle shot, but he closes the door and opens it. Once again, the Deagle gets him, and Volty just kills him. After the bomb is planted, Nightcry tried to panic spray with the MAC-10, but the controlled Deagle killed him before, and they're not going to get to match point just now. AbsoluteStuds with 3 rounds against VenomGaming 7. And 2 kills from Volty, and I wouldn't call it a Wandy, but I definitely call it a clutch with the flank through the double doors. He's keeping his team alive. Now they have enough money to buy whatever guns their heart desires. Both of these T's with a CZ75 auto and a Deagle, some desperate guns, but they do the job well if you can aim as well as Volty did last round with them. And Dark peeking up the upper window, finding Milorad, but he walked down the ramp just in time, evading that Deagle headshot. Now he's crouched behind the ramp side, not letting anybody kill him whatsoever. And Dark still at the glass, trying to find somebody, gets Milorad, but he doesn't shoot him at all. Misses the shot, which is going to be a little bit too deadly for him. Just finding his head again, but he just can't get the kill still. Milorad killed his teammate off, and quick shots with the Galil. AbsoluteStuds clutching out the anti-eco round, and they're climbing back. VenomGaming, all they have to do is win 1 round, and they get to guarantee the overtimes that they are so, ever so deadly at. Nightcry and Dark trying to go for a more lenient game style here, even more lenient than the rounds before it, as they aren't ever just deadlock pushing into the locations that they want to, and both of them are going to be peeking window here. Volty with a deadly M4, knocking them down to a lot lower HP than they want to. Nightcry, manual anti-aim, just ducking below the shots. Now he's left on ramp side, and both of them have time to disperse away from him. Smoking out onto the site, 35 HP, looks away from the flash, but he didn't peek into it, but the M4 taking out the bomb carrier. Now Dark is the last one left alive in a 1v1, but he's not expecting him coming from the right side, but he flicks over to him just in time. An AbsoluteStuds still with 5 rounds, and rounds in a row. Now he's stuck in a position in which he has to either plant the bomb, isolate one of these CTs, take him out, and then seize the bomb site soon afterwards, but he's going to be draining most of his bullets against one, and Volty
Takes him out with just one singular AK to the chest. AbsoluteStuds, again, closing the lead very, very quickly here. With 6 rounds against VenomGaming 7, and Nightcry with an AK and Dark with an AWP. They're set up for a long-range engagement, but Nightcry only having 2 kills on his side, and Dark carrying his side with 15 kills. So as soon as Dark dies with that AWP, and it's deadly! Milorad sniping him with the M4, and Nightcry left against this last remaining CT, although he knocks out the one in scaffolding for a lot of his HP. But he's going to have to contend with that laser of an M4, just killing him as soon as he peeked. Oh, he's dumping the AWP. He's trying to get rid of it as soon as possible. He dumped it in vents and then considered to dump it out of bounds, but I'm sure that that's good enough since neither of the CTs are very good flankers for the most part. They tend to keep it to themselves. But Nightcry having to play this a little bit slower than he wants to, as he wants to just finish off that low HP CT, I'm sure of it. But neither of them want to peek into his shots either. They hear the smoke. They're going to be spraying through that smoke as soon as he comes into it. No matter how much he flashes, tries to take out the one near ramp, and he flashes him, but just a little bit too late as Milorad sees his head, shoots him, and now we're at 7-7, and Nightcry couldn't clutch it out. And that 1v2 in Dark, expensive buy last round, and he paid for it. That M4 just shredding through him as soon as he peeked through that little sliver of the door. And both of them regrouping. The double window rush worked last time, but they both got sprayed down, and Nightcry doesn't exactly know whether or not to do it. Both of the CTs aren't even in scaffolding this time around. They're doubling up in the same position. One's in the secret box, and one's hiding in the ramp side, and I don't think they've ever taken out Milorad while he's in the ramp side here. Nightcry trying to set up for a flash, but they don't know when to break this glass, and they break it now. They know that one's there, but they're not moving. They're not dedicating against that location. They're both looking at single doors, and he moves over to the left side. The deagle misses. Now it's just Dark in a 1v2. Although he has the most kills, he gets taken out by a running AK shot from Milorad. A quick AD takes him out. Match point for AbsoluteStuds. VenomGaming losing the lead round after round. They've lost 6 rounds in a row. It's like they're just trying to walk up a going down elevator. And Dark, I'm not too sure what he's trying to look at here. Maybe trying to see down ramp. Yes, he is. Milorad getting taken out in his favorite position. They finally catch him out, and the M4 can't snipe them this time. VenomGaming, all they have to do is plant that bomb and secure it, but VODs taking out the first T when he walks out onto site, and Dark isn't there for the trade, and he's just there with the AWP. And VODs retreating back into the scaffolding, but Dark isn't taking this very fast. He's going to be waiting until that smoke dissipates and then trying to find somebody on the other side of it. Let's see if he does. He finds the last guy and he gets him. We're going to be going to the first overtime in this best of 3. Dark just clutching it out on his side after this quick break. We'll be back for some more amazing second first overtime action of the game. Another first overtime, but a very different situation for both of these teams as they've had to fight back and forth. AbsoluteStuds almost closing it out after they won 6 rounds in a row, but VenomGaming once again with an early pick from Dark, his new favorite position, single doors. But VODs, last one in scaffolding. They both aren't expecting it. Nightcry once again just rushing out onto the site, trying to plant the bomb even though he doesn't have it. Dark again with the AWP. He just peeks a little bit too much, and VODs knocks him down to the same exact HP that he's at. But they're smoking out onto the site, trying to ghost plant that bomb in the smoke, or maybe even bait out VODs to actually rush him and fakes out the bomb plant, but he doesn't hear the conclusion of it. Dark peeks around the right side, but he misses the shot, and Volty just getting him out for the 9th round for AbsoluteStuds. He just almost got that shot on the right side. I'm sure that it was just the moving inaccuracy that got him. The scope must have just been a little bit too inaccurate on that shot. And Nightcry and Dark now have to regroup. They're quite broke after that first overtime map, which is not good because both of these CTs have more than enough money, and they have more incentive to just buy as much as they can. And Dark wants to aggressively peek the window. Once again, they reveal their locations, but once again, neither of these CTs are actually moving, and they make them move that time around. Milorad sucked out of his ramp position, and he's back onto the site. But he only has a couple places to look, as the window isn't any threat to him on that side of the silo, and both of them are just flashing out onto the site, but neither of them are actually rushing, and Nightcry with the bomb, a little bit of a risky opportunity to actually kill him, and Milorad knocked down to not very much of his HP, but Dark left loose on the flank, revealing his location for Volty, kills the last man in the fire, but Volty thinks he knows where the last man is. The Deagle finding him first, and we're tied after the first half of that overtime. We're going to be jumping right into it. 5 seconds. Let's go. Milorad and Volty equal kills, but Dark with 20 kills. And Nightcry with still only 2, but he has 4 assists, so he's contributing in some way, and he does plant the bombs in some rounds, but now we're on the CT side, and it's all about positioning and the locations that both of these Ts attack in. They smoke out the double doors in the bottom, and Volty opens it so that he has a little bit more chance to actually see somebody running out of it. Milorad peeking out the double glass up here, which you can just see someone around the right side, but you can even see it better if you just smash out the glass in the first place. No glass means you have less to worry about accidentally running right into that flash you didn't know that it was coming. And Nightcry holding down in the boxes here. It's a very good position, but if somebody peeks him at the wrong time, then he won't be able to see him. And Volty just peeked at the wrong time there, and Nightcry might have been able to get some shot off. But alas, he wasn't looking at the right time, and both of these Ts trying to find one of them. But once again, both VenomGaming is playing almost the exact same positions that they were playing on the AbsoluteStuds CT side. So they should know where they're coming from. And Dark, early pick, once again, takes out Milorad as he's jumping out of the glass because they couldn't throw any more nades to bring him out of his position. And Dark getting both of the kills as both of them are just rushing out in the open against the op. And AbsoluteStuds now has to win this next round in order to stay in this overtime. We'll see if it happens, and Dark carrying the team on his back. I am so sorry, Nightcry, but it is not looking good for his game today. Yet he is still contributing. As long as he has 2 kills, he is still contributing to the team. He's holding aggressively with the M4 on top of the scaffolding. Here's the door opening, but he doesn't see any of the Ts actually running out. Pulls out the nade at the wrong time, and the nade goes wide. So it doesn't actually prevent any of them from running out, as they can still hug the wall. For a second there, I thought the Ts were actually hugging the wall to go out onto the bomb site, but it doesn't look like they are. Dark focusing on the window, hearing one of the glass breaking, but they could be attacking from both sides here. They have an inclination that Dark is going to be in the exact same position, and Dark just switching up his location every other second, making sure they don't know where he is. Nightcry getting a kill against Milorad. It's a Christmas miracle, and one that VenomGaming needed. The T is very careful not to peek the corner there, and the op discouraged from holding the corner as he smokes it off. Now it's a 1v2 for Volty. He only has 30 seconds left with the bomb, but he's attacking on the side that Nightcry's at, and he takes him out. But he only has 20 seconds to rush the rest of this bomb site, and Dark could very easily just look at single doors for the wrong second and take him out near instantly. Volty pushing out onto the site. Dark is still holding that same location, and he's able to plant the bomb on the other side. Pre-peeking scaffolding. Dark looking in the wrong location, but he gets him. We're going to be going into double overtime here. Dark almost gets the kill after he edges out Volty after he tried to plant the bomb. They were both looking in the wrong positions. Dark with 22 kills. Second overtime coming soon. second overtime here, and I hope that Nightcry isn't discouraged by my encouraging words of sportsmanship, because Venom Gaming needs all the teamwork that they can get, because AbsoluteStuds, although they've been losing the back and forth type of rounds that they have, Nightcry just getting enough damage against that last remaining T, which if the op legs him, he's able to kill him. Just misses his shoulder in the single doors, and Dark, a little bit of lag from that smoke. They're smoking out the site. Both of these Ts are going for that crossfire against Dark, as he's just in his fortress and in his zone. Misses the shot once again as he's jumping out onto the site. Misses both of the Ts as jumping onto the site, but he doesn't die, and that's the important part. They're planting on the other side of Silo. He's able to take out the one retreating back to the single doors, and now there's just one remaining last T. He's back on the bomb site, but Tark can't take any chances here. 23 kills and 100 damage per round. Can't save him from Volti's headshot across the map and at the top of ramp. And AbsoluteStuds once again with the 11th round against Venom Gaming's 10. That's the last round on their side, and they can do some damage against both of these CTs, and Dark might have to change up his game plan here. No longer has the op in his possession. Now he's just resorted to a deagle. How far he's fallen. And he's pushed up all the way over to single door, trying to find out Volti. Trying to ease him out, missing both of the deagle shots and retreating, closing the door, making sure that nobody's going to be shooting him from the window. And Nightcry not over-dedicating himself on the bomb site. Volti peeking out his head a little bit too much, but both of them drain all of their bullets. Nice headshot coming from Dark against Milorad on top of the railing. And now it's just a 1v2, and he needed that Wandy because now Nightcry can hold out the single bomb. He's looking at the AK, wishing he had it, but he has to rely on that M4. Although the M4 in this case would be a little bit more accurate, or just by a little bit, in order to take out Volti, because although it doesn't have that one-tap headshot, it does have the necessary both rate of fire and spray, but Volti's dedicated to that boxes. He knows somebody's there, and in this case, both of them are there, and that Molotov's going to be really bad for both of them. One of them has to peek out, and it's Dark, and Nightcry, although he bumps him down to a lot of his HP, he still doesn't kill him, and he's on the other side of that silo, and he only has 17 seconds left to take that bomb. Volti flashing out onto the site. He's trying to take that bomb, and he finds out Nightcry on the other side of the silo, and AbsoluteStuds winning that half, 12-10. All they have to do is win one more round of this overtime. They're going to be switching sides onto the CT side.
And the kill distribution, once again, on the CT side is even. That's what we like to see, but they are not a fan of that op buy. In Dark, as soon as he has the chance, he's buying that op because he knows that he can peek single doors and it's going to work most of the time, and Volti might be caught out here, wide out in the open. He's peeking ramp for some reason. I'm not too sure if he lagged out there, but he might just be telling his teammate Milorad yet to go in his favorite position, the ramp side, as that's the crossfire that they need. But Nightcry not opening. Oh, he did open the door. Volti catches out his leg as he's running out. They throw a smoke down there, making sure nobody's rushing down, making sure no Dark is shooting them with the op. They smoke it out once again. Nightcry's a little bit confused because both of these CTs are just chucking all of their utility, shooting all of their bullets through this door because the Ts are trying to fake a bomb plant through the smoke. And both of the CTs are actually on scaffolding, which means that they'll be able to see. But Nightcry gets a pick through the smoke, and he fake bomb plants, but the last one's on scaffolding, and now Dark has the info to actually take him out if he can. But neither of them see each other, and both of them are walking, and Dark still doesn't have any visual. He's going to have to shoot through solid metal twice in order to kill him, or just get visual on him. And he just misses the op shot. Volti can live another day. He might jump down, get the kill. Op shot still missing. The op just gets him as he goes over to the right. And Dark taking out Volti as they were doing clockwise movements against each other. They were jumping for their lives. And Dark winning that round, keeping Venom Gaming in the game. All they had to do was jump down and gun him down, but he didn't want to risk it, as that op is so deadly in Dark's hands, and that's just extra proof of it. Nightcry getting that early pick into the round to make it a little bit more easy. And he opens the door for him at the beginning of every round to make it easier. Quick op peek from Dark against Volti. Now, all he has to do is get this extra pick, and we're going to be going into triple overtime. They're flashing out onto the site, planting on the other side of Silo. Milorad doesn't even want to spray through it, doesn't even want to waste his bullets. Molotoving on the right side, he's pushing the site. Can he get the bomb site retake? One's on one side and one's on the other. And Dark's ever so clueless, peeking out the other side, but Nightcry gets him from behind. And guess what?
We're going to be going into triple overtime. I think this is the first time we go into triple overtime. And Nightcry carrying his own weight so far, and Dark with 26 kills and only 13 deaths. He is a beast on that side with the op. We'd like to see it. And we see for as many rounds as AbsoluteStuds can peek out, as soon as they kill Nightcry, they're just on a mission to kill Dark. That is what they should be doing from now on during these matches, or during these rounds, rather, because both of them are still on T-side, and they know that Dark, and both of it, and his teammate are going to be relying on that single door push because they've been doing it almost every single round. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, but it's getting a little bit repetitive, and AbsoluteStuds might be catching on to it, and they have plenty of time to talk about what their game plans might be. And it seems like they're adapting somewhat. Volty holding close upper to the door, and so he's not going to get killed as long as he doesn't peek. But Nightcry, a fan of just spraying through the floor. I don't think this is going to be a very good strat for him. Nightcry debating whether or not to just spray through it. They test fire to see if anybody's just jumping. Nightcry's aimed right at his leg. I don't even think he knows that. And at any second, he could just shoot through it. Volty. Oh, Volty gets to live another day. Nightcry decides not to shoot. Both of them are close scaffolding. They're both scared of this Dark op, and Nightcry misses most of his shots. Now Dark's peeked out. Close scaffolding gets shot from the other side, and both of these CTs have actually adapted to VenomGaming finally.
It only took them 3 overtimes to find out what VenomGaming's kryptonite was, but they finally did it, and Dark now has to find an economy rush here. Nightcry with the AK and Dark with the Deagle, but as we've seen, Deagles are no laughing matter for Dark. As both the Op and the Deagle are somewhat just very specified. You can't move, and you have to be ever so pinpoint perfect with your shots. And with the Op, he is mostly that, and with the Deagle, we've seen that he can just spray down your body like no tomorrow, so it's nothing to scoff at here. And he sees his head, but he just misses it, gets the body shot, but he doesn't want to over-dedicate. Now he has to flash out Milorad, repositioning, trying to find some way to kill him, and he might. So if he closes up with that M4, he's able to just force Dark to rapidly spray at Nightcry, rushing out onto the site and dying almost instantly, and now Volty. Oh, the CTs have a nasty crossfire on him. As soon as he jumps out of this window, he's going to be taken out, and Volty with the expert positioning, as he's going to be the first one to actually see him. He's peeking wide window. Now he's actually going to be jumping out through the window. And we see Volty couldn't see him, but Milorad definitely could. Now AbsoluteStuds, 14 rounds in the triple overtime. You know what that means. VenomGaming has to win both of these next rounds, and they're switching sides once again. It's looking like a little bit of nostalgia. Nightcry and Dark with the exact same setups that they always do. Nightcry with the rifle and Dark with the op. And guess what? They're going to be playing top ramp, because if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But once again, AbsoluteStuds is going to predict that, as they've done that almost every single round before. And Milorad shooting out the smoke. He's trying to find some visual, but through a solid opaque smoke. Unless he has hacks, he's not going to see anything. Volty closing out on the far side. He's looking at top ramp, waiting for the op to peek him. But Nightcry might actually find some of them first, as he's overly paranoid, not knowing what these smokes are entailing, spraying through the smoke, almost getting one of them. He actually gets him through the smoke. Now it's just a 1v2. And Volty left against both of these CTs. He has the SG, and he has the aim, but he's trying to take out this op at the top of ramp, and he's none the wiser. He takes him out with a headshot. Now it's just Nightcry in a 1v2. He can't see him with the M4. Oh, and it's not looking good. The SG is focused in on him, but he's throwing a flash, and he still gets him while he's throwing out the flash. And AbsoluteStuds wins this overtime.
Even when he was caught out with a flash in his hands, he was still able to take him out with the SG, and AbsoluteStuds winning this best of 3. An intense game right up until the end, almost made it to quadruple overtime. And that has been it. Thank you all for watching. We have another game at 2 o'clock tomorrow, and I do believe that that is the first game of the playoffs, and then after that it will be scheduled past that point. I'm gonna go drink like 6 gallons of water.
Rock the house.